Along the sun-drenched coast of modern-day Vietnam lie the silent, weathered ruins of a forgotten empire. These ancient red brick towers, bathed in the golden light of sunset, are the last monuments of a civilization that once commanded the seas, the Kingdom of Champa. For over a millennium, this remarkable culture flourished, leaving behind a legacy of stunning art, mysterious architecture, and a history filled with naval prowess and epic conflict. Today, we journey back in time to uncover the story of this lost maritime power, a kingdom built on trade winds and faith, which rose to incredible heights before fading into the mists of history. This is the story of Champa, an empire that deserves to be remembered. The story of Champa begins and ends with the sea. Nestled along the vital maritime routes of the South China Sea, the Cham people were master sailors and astute traders. Imagine the scene: immense wooden warships, their sails billowing in the monsoon winds, confidently navigating the open ocean. These were not just vessels of war, but the lifeblood of a thriving economy. From as early as the 2nd century AD, Champa established itself as a critical hub on the maritime Silk Road. By the 10th century, their coastal ports were bustling cosmopolitan centers. Picture a vibrant harbor, alive with the sounds of a dozen languages. Merchants from India, their ships laden with spices and textiles, haggled alongside Chinese traders offering porcelain and silk. Arab dhows arrived carrying glass, incense, and precious metals from the distant Middle East. In the marketplaces, the wealth of the world was on display. Gleaming piles of gold bars, smooth ivory tusks, fragrant egglewood, and bolts of iridescent silk fabric. Champa didn't just participate in this global trade. They controlled it. Their strategic location and powerful navy allowed them to dominate key sea lanes, growing fabulously wealthy and influential. This prosperity funded the creation of magnificent cities and temples, transforming their kingdom into a beacon of culture and power in Southeast Asia. The immense wealth generated from maritime trade allowed the Cham to create architectural wonders that still baffle engineers today. The heart of their spiritual and political world was the My Sun Sanctuary, a sprawling complex of brick temples nestled in a lush valley. As we look closely at these ruins, the level of craftsmanship is simply astounding. The bricks were carved with intricate floral patterns, divine figures, and scenes from Hindu mythology. Statues of Shiva, the destroyer and transformer, and the wise elephant-headed god Ganesha adorn the walls, reflecting the deep influence of Hinduism that arrived with Indian traders. But the greatest mystery of Cham architecture lies in how these temples were built. If you examine the walls, you'll find no visible mortar or adhesive holding the bricks together. They are fitted so perfectly that you can't even slide a razor blade between them. How did they achieve this? Theories range from using a unique tree resin as a binding agent to a sophisticated technique of firing the bricks after the entire structure was assembled. This lost art of construction allowed their towers to withstand centuries of monsoons, wars, and neglect, standing today as silent testaments to the genius of their builders. These weren't just buildings. They were sacred spaces, cosmic mountains of brick designed to connect the earthly realm of the kings with the celestial domain of the gods. Champa's power wasn't just economic, it was military. Their mastery of the seas gave them a formidable navy which they weren't afraid to use. One of the most audacious acts in their history was the Great Naval Raid of 1177. For years, Champa had been locked in a rivalry with its powerful western neighbor, the Champa Empire, centered at Angkor. In a stunning display of strategic brilliance and naval might, a massive Cham fleet set sail. But instead of a coastal attack, they embarked on an unprecedented inland invasion. Their ships navigated the complex network of the Mekong Delta, sailing up the river and into the Great Tonle Sap Lake, the very heart of the Khmer kingdom. The Khmer were caught completely by surprise. An epic battle ensued near their sacred temples, where highly disciplined Cham Marines clashed with the famed warriors of Angkor. The Cham forces were victorious. They sacked the magnificent Khmer capital, Yasodharapura, burning the wooden city to the ground. It was a humiliating blow to the Khmer and a clear declaration of Champa's dominance. This event was so significant that it was later carved in vivid detail onto the stone walls of the Bayon Temple by the Khmer themselves, forever immortalizing their defeat at the hands of Champa's unstoppable navy. Despite reaching such incredible heights of power, the golden age of Champa was not destined to last forever. Beginning in the 11th century, a new threat emerged from the north. the Dai Viet based in the Red River Delta, began a relentless southward expansion known as the Nam Tin, or the March to the South. This was not a single invasion but a slow, centuries-long process of migration, assimilation, and conquest. Over hundreds of years, the territory of Champa was gradually chipped away. The once mighty kingdom found itself fighting a war on two fronts, against the Dai Viet from the north and recurring conflicts with the Khmer from the west. The constant warfare drained its resources and manpower. By 1471, the Dai Viet launched a final decisive invasion, capturing and destroying the Cham capital of Vijaya. This catastrophic event marked the effective end of Champa as a unified political entity. The empire fractured, its cities fell into ruin, and its people were scattered. The image of a crumbling city wall under a dark, stormy sky perfectly captures the tragic decline. As the centuries passed, the jungle crept back in, its thick vines and roots slowly reclaiming the magnificent temples and palaces, burying a once great civilization under a blanket of green. Though the kingdom of Champa has vanished from the maps, its spirit lives on. The legacy of this great maritime empire endures through its descendants, the Cham people, who still live in communities in Vietnam and Cambodia today. They have preserved their unique culture, language, and traditions against all odds. You can see it in their vibrant festivals, where they wear striking traditional clothing, often elegant white garments for men and colorful, intricately patterned dresses for women. The artistic heritage of Champa is also very much alive. In Cham villages, you can still find women practicing the ancient art of weaving on traditional wooden looms. They create beautiful textiles with complex geometric patterns that have been passed down through generations, each thread a connection to their ancestors. And of course, the most visible legacy remains in stone and brick. Those silent, enigmatic towers standing defiantly against a modern skyline are not just ruins. They are reminders of a forgotten glory, a story of innovation, faith, and power that shaped the history of Southeast Asia. They are the final echoes of the lost empire of the sea. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed exploring the forgotten history of Champa, please hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the annals of history. Let us know in the comments which lost civilization you'd like to see us cover next. See you in the next video.